Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome to Top Step Rules Order Flow. I've been absent for a minute. Let's get busy here. Let's get into some things that I have learned over the past couple months, including talking about a little bit about health. I used to work at a brokerage firm, one of the big brokerage firms up in Chicago. And one thing that, you know, uh, when you're working in an office environment is we have a tendency to take advantage of things. A while ago, I experienced a health emergency. I had a blood clot. Got up one morning to trade, had a blood clot run from my leg to my lung. Passed out, woke up, luckily, and I was able to dial 911. With that being said, when I was sitting in the emergency room, one thing the doctor said was, a lot of people who are working out of their homes now, we are seeing a surge of what they call embolisms. That's when a blood clot runs from your leg up to your heart or up to your lungs. And he said we're seeing a surge of that because people are working out of their homes now. So it made me go and buy a Fitbit watch. And when I get up in the morning, the time now, instead of walking straight to the computer, I try to go to my computer by way of walking around my complex or getting on my exercise bike and trying to get in a couple of miles before I sit down here at the desk. Because when you work in an office environment, what happens is you get up, walk to your car, or you walk to the bus station. You get off the bus, you walk through the subway station. Before you realize it, you're getting in steps. You're getting in maybe 3,000 to 4,000 steps just going to work. And then coming home, boom, you're repeating the same process. You might even come home the long way by stopping in and out of stores and so forth like that. So, with that being said, I'm not going to linger on that. But with that being said, Humble Trader, she did a thing. If you guys are familiar with Humble Trader, she has her own videos that she does on YouTube also. She did a thing where she gets up in the morning and she does stretching exercises and all kinds of other things before she sits down at the computer. With that being said, get your steps in and try not to sit at this computer for a very long time. I think Futures, the guy who's on Futures Flow, he does order flow for Futures Flow. He basically goes into the gym every day or every other day. But whatever you decide to do, get your steps in, and happy health and good health to everybody. Okay, with that being said, you are looking at a Trade Devils footprint chart. I was advocate of Mike Valto's footprint, but I have totally switched over to Trade Devil's footprint. Now, let me tell you guys something. There is no such thing as learning order flow without putting in the work. There is no such thing as learning order flow without putting in the work, whether you get Mike Valto's or whether you get TDU Trade Devils. One thing I will say about Mike Valtos, I call him the king of order flow because he has some very important videos, and I don't get paid for pushing his stuff, but I purchased his order flow first. You have to know what you're looking for. I can sit up here and I can show you signals all day long. But if you don't understand what's going on and understand it's not about red light, green light, you have to understand things about the delta, whether you're looking at the delta volume, the cum delta, the volume, You know, there are quite a few OrderFlow footprints out here. So, with that being said, you have to go over your charts every day. Go over your signals every day, because nothing is going to come easy. There is not going to be, hey, well, it's only going to take me a month to learn this, and I'll be making money and be retired from my job in 2-3 months. I don't know where you guys get that from. It's not going to happen. I've been in this business since 1988. I'm 59 years old now, right? So from that point on, I started off using Metastock. Then I started off using TradeStation. Stayed on TradeStation for a while, especially when I got into the brokerage firm. We were using TradeStation in a brokerage firm. And then NinjaTrader. Now understand this, a lot of this technology is fairly new within the past, 5 or 6 years. You can go back 6 years ago, you were not able to see what you see now on the chart 5 or 6 years ago. You were not able to see a decent footprint chart like this. I'm a big fan of TDU's footprint chart and Mike Valto's, but I totally converted over to TDU footprint chart. Difference between Mike Valto's chart and TDU chart is, even though TDU footprint chart, that the options are unlimited. Unlimited. You can do all kinds of things with TDU. TDU does the same thing as Mike Valto's chart, except Mike Valto's has the videos. Mike Valto's is doing, Mike Valto's does a class every Tuesday night. If you can't get in his class, because you have to purchase his software to get in his class. Everything I see on Mike Valto's, I see now on TDU, or I get an alert. I have quite a few alerts set up here that I see on, not on this page, it's on another page, that I see on Mike Valto's stuff. So I did a slow conversion. I totally converted from Mike Valto, because at that point I knew what I wanted to see, whether it was a delta divergence or, I call it flip or bounce or whatever you want to see, but you have to know what you're looking for. It's not going to come in a day. A lot of you guys expecting red light, green light, expecting for it to come in a day. It don't work like that. I can give you my template. I can give you everything I use, and you will not be able to do what I do. Period. Period. So, yes, I am a Trade Devils footprint chart now. And like I said, Mike Valto's is king of order flow, especially when it comes to making videos. You will not see one Mike Valto's video and say I didn't learn anything. You will learn something on all of his videos. So with that being said, let's go through some trades today. Let's go through some charts today. Start off today. One thing I did was I customized my my symbols. Become very familiar with your symbols, whether they're delta divergence or ratio. Now, there was a discussion. One thing I want to talk about, there was a discussion on, see if I can highlight this. There was a discussion on, get this straight. Bear with me for a second. Looking for something particular. Nope, that's not what I want. There was a discussion on Discord, and you know, you can put 100 people in front of, and I'm talking 100 experienced people in front of a footprint chart, and you will damn near get 100 different signals. Order flow helps you to see what you are looking for. Now, my trading partner, even though he jokes a lot, but you know, we talk about it all the time. He says, "Oh, you're waiting for a unicorn." Yes, I am. I want to see exactly what I want to see. First thing I want to talk about is the ratio. Let's discuss this because this is very important. Let's discuss the ratio here. Let's discuss the ratio here. Here are the ratios. The ratios basically talk about whether it's exhaustion or defense. Ratios basically discuss whether it's exhaustion on the bottom of a bar or top of a bar, or defense at the bottom or the top of the bar. One thing I'm going to give you free today, free today, and you might want to freeze the video while you're looking at this. I basically learned, I learned from Mike Valtos what the ratio is for defense for top and bottom. Here is my formula. Here is my formula for the ratio. Here is my formula for the ratio. And you guys are welcome to copy this. This right here. You can see it highlighted in the blue box. This is my formula for the ratio. I want to see exhaustion at the top and bottom of the bar, or defense at the top or bottom of the bar. Exhaustion is 30 or above. If a defense number pops up, which is followed by a decimal, is usually followed by a point. It's going to be like below 0.67 or lower. That's defense. So I got exhaustion here, exhaustion here, exhaustion here, and my ratios are highlighted in blue. Okay. Notice I have a defense here. I have a defense here. At the bottom of this bar, and a defense at the top of this bar. Now, what I just showed you was the formula so you can get small numbers and larger numbers for exhaustion and defense at the top. You can have defense, in my opinion, this is my opinion, you can have defense at the top or bottom of the bars. So, with that being said, you got the ratio formula. And here's exhaustion right here. Here's the defense right here. I'll go with the other symbols in a minute. Exhaustion right there. That's 240. And now only my ratio numbers only pop up. I don't want to see no dim ratio numbers. My ratio numbers only pop up when there's exhaustion or when there's defense. That's the only time I want my ratio numbers to pop up, because in any other time it makes your it makes your chart look kind of busy. Okay? So you got that. Got any questions? Shoot me a message and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can on that. But that's how I look at my exhaustion. And of course, you have to take those numbers in context to what's going on. Another thing I like about the TDU is we now have fading momentum. Let's talk about that. Fading momentum here. Now, let me tell you guys something. I'm not going to recommend or, tell you what to buy when it comes to footprint. That's going to be on you. Okay? I basically just, gave you my opinion on what I think about Mike Valtos, because I own both of them. I have Mike Valtos and TDU. I am a total TDU footprint user now because I know what I'm looking for. And I've watched many of Mike Valtos' videos, and there's something to learn every time I watch his videos. And you can start off by watching his videos on YouTube, but he gets more in detail. And man, does he drop some nuggets in his little private videos. I think he has a package now. It's like going for $99. I just got an email this morning. And today is what? Today is May 22nd. So he has a package for $99. And for those of you who have not seen any, if you know what, if you own TDU already, go ahead and put the $99 out and get that bundle he has. I forgot what the name of it is, but Mike Valtos has a bundle, and he's just letting loose on order flow, signals, and so forth. He's letting loose. Get that bundle. I think, because I was just talking to my trading partner, and we both agreed $99 is well worth it. Is well worth it. I got one of his bundles months ago, and just from what I've learned, it's well worth it. Any of his stuff is well worth it. I call him the king or the godfather of order flow. Now, what was that about? Oh, this is a fading momentum symbol. I have several symbols here that I like to watch. Several symbols here that I like to watch. What do I like to watch on footprint? On the footprint, here are the bar markers. So, it's you can see what I have marked here. You can freeze the frame if you want, but see what I mark here, and I have the symbols down here, and I'm familiar. I don't want to see all the signals. A combination of signals, whatever you're used to seeing, if they're giving you the trades that you want to see, then those are the symbols that you want to see. This is the slingshot here, where you see the doggy bone. That's for those of you who can't figure out what that is, that's a doggy bone at the bottom or top of the screen. That's a slingshot. By the way, if you want to pick your own symbol and replace those symbols, just hold down your Alt key and press the period button. Let me see how this works. Control, period. Okay, so we go in here and you go to TDU footprint. Let's go down here. And I want to change one of these symbols. Like I have a chess piece. I have a chess pawn for delta divergence. If you hold down the Alt key, it's the Control key. Let's see if that's right. No, my fault. Hold down the Windows key and press the period besides, right in between the question mark and the comma on your keyboard. And you'll get a host of symbols that you can put in place in case you find a one of the symbols along here that you don't want to use. So say like you see a chess piece here, and above, let's replace this above and below, and you accidentally delete it. Hold down the Windows key, press that little period, and say like you want to see a spade there. When you push that, it'll put a spade up there. Okay. Look out the tongue, strawberry, and you notice those symbols start to pop up. And you can just select one, just hit your backspace key or whatever and select whatever symbol you want to select. And that's the symbol. From that point on, that will be, you even got an 8 ball in there. It don't look like an 8 ball though. That's the symbol that will be on your chart. I think I selected the dog. Yeah, I selected the doggy bone, and you know, you got all kinds of symbols here. Like I said, hold down the Windows key and hit the period, and hit period, and this is an ASCII symbol chart will pop up. And basically, you can put anything you want there. The Lucky Charm. Now that looks good. I'll save that for something else. You can select any symbol, and you can only select the symbols here, or you would literally have to look up ASCII symbols and see what combination of characters you type to get that particular symbol. How does that look? That doesn't look like much. So that's one way you can put your own symbols on the chart. Just notice some new symbols here. I think I'm gonna have to experiment with this and see what I want to use. So that's just one way of changing the symbols with your chart. Let's back this up. Just leave it unlucky. Just leave it cancel for right now. So that's how I got my symbols above and below. And you can see I use a slingshot, which is one of the symbols that come with TDU, and also the Delta Suite, which is one of Futures Flow signals. So there are a host of signals that you can get, and it gives you a good idea. Like I said, you have to wait and use them in context with how you're using it. And I usually trade between, let's say, market open 9:30. I usually trade between 9:30 and I might stop around 11:30, 12 o'clock. Market volatility kind of slows up or dries up then. So that's that's what I use for getting in and out of the market. And I use several other symbols also. Trying to pop something up on here. Okay, I was looking for my first trade of the morning with you know, sometimes you want to get stopped out. Sometimes you're going to make money. I think my first trade of the morning was a long trade. Let me see if I can pop these up on here. Let's bring another chart over. 933, 2E minis, 42.08 and 3/4. First target was 42.12 and 3/4. Second target, 42.19. That's a nice trade. I had a losing trade up here that I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about the losers. We'll talk about the one 15. Here's a loser. Went long at 15.25. Went long at 15.25. Now some of these entries I'm entering with some other ways of entry other than the slingshot and the Delta sweep. So this trade got in at 15.25, got stopped out. For some reason I wanted to go long, and got stopped out 11.75. Okay, that's a loser there. Another here. I call this the invisible delta. We went from minus 90 to plus 1373 here, which is a long entry for me. Notice I call this the V-turn trade. Entered at 97.5. First target, 1.5. Second target, 5.25. Also notice, even though I got a V-turn here, which went from a minus 90 on the delta to a plus 1373, I call this the V-turn. It put me in before the delta sweep popped up, and also notice right after the delta sweep popped up, about 4 bars later, the slingshot popped up. Okay. Tried it again. And at this point, I realized we were hitting resistance after I got stopped out of this trade on the second go round. Nothing but resistance up here. Nothing but resistance. Looking for a breakout. I should have known better. Let me tell you guys something. But let me explain this. You see this red line? This is the RSI reversal that Analytica uses on his charts. Overbought and oversold lines. They call it the reverse RSI reversal lines. And I was selling up here at the I was not selling. I was trying to buy up here at the RSI reversal lines. And after I realized what I was doing, I said, you know what? I'm trying to buy on the breakout, and it's overbought. So I got stopped out on this trade. Entered the 7.5. Got 7. I took a tick loss on this trade right here. Got out at 7.25. Did I make money on that? Entry 7.5. Got out 7.25. Was I long and short on that? Yep. That's a losing trade too. I think I lost a tick on that. Here's another delta flip. I call these the delta flips. Another delta flip there, and now notice that delta is going down. And I think I entered at 7.5, 7.25, 7.25. Somewhere, I see what happened here. I got in this trade right here at 11 even. You see this 11 even. And I held on to this trade to 7.25. But what happened is Delta started going down. We went from plus 551 to 72. And I said, you know what? This is a top. We're reversing. And then that's why you see an enter here of 7.5. So enter that went short at 7.5. First target, 3.5. Then as I had a trailer coming down, and the next stop was hit at 3.5 also on that. So that was a almost a 4-point trade there, like 18 ticks on each contract. Here, got a slingshot. Got a slingshot. We went from this pivot right here, we went from plus 61 to a plus 1180. Big cumulative delta turnaround. Big, not cumulative delta, but just big delta. But I did not take this trade because the cumulative delta was minus 5,000. I'm looking for short trades only at this point. Looking for short trades only. Next trade went short right here on this slingshot. Took it because my bias was down. You have to know your bias. At the beginning of the day, I'm looking at the daily. This is a 12-hour chart. So I'm looking at the daily. I'm looking at a 30-minute chart. And I might have an hourly chart or like a 5-minute chart or something else, but I'm looking at the trend of the other charts. I want to see what is going on with the trend. If you don't have a bias, don't pull a trade. If you don't have a bias, don't pull a trade. Don't be pulling a trade just to be pulling a trade. You have to have some type of bias, meaning direction. Which way do you think this market is going? And then you look at your daily. Draw your support and resistance on the daily bars, on the daily chart. Look at your daily and decide. And you're not going to catch every trade. But this trade, 8.25, cumulative delta was minus 49.37. Boom. Got out at 4.75. Done deal. And that was, and I think I only took the slingshot now because the cumulative delta was minus 4,400. Whereas this slingshot, even though it ran up, I did not want to take a counter trade. Recognize when you're taking a counter trade. Recognize, and then when I say counter trade, recognize when you're going against the trend. Okay? I was done. This is my last trade of the day, 11:45. I was done. Yeah, some pretty good other trades come up here. You had this is basically a cumulative delta minus 5,800. That is a slingshot with a delta sweep to the downside. And you can see right here, your stop would have been right here, right around 9.5. That you would have did about, let's be conservative, at least 7 to 8 points on this trade right here if you'd have just held on. I don't know what your money management is. Everybody has different money managements. My money management, I tighten up real quick because my philosophy is another bus will be along. That's my philosophy. Pay attention to your deltas. Get a hard flip on your deltas. Make sure your deltas are going in the direction that you want the trade to go along. Here's another trade. Wouldn't have took this slingshot trade. That's a counter trade. Why is that a counter trade? Because my cumulative delta is not in sync with that particular trade. Whereas it went from 4,944 here to 920 there. So this trade, that would have possibly been a trade if I was looking to get in the market. And as you can see, boom, that went down also. So just wanted to bring you guys up to speed on what I'm using now. And that will be all for today. If you want to know what I'm using and how I get these delta numbers set up, I do give private consultation. Have your PayPal ready. I think it's worth it. There are no answers. There are no quick answers to this other than studying hard. I will probably charge anywhere from say $150 to $200, and then that way I'll show you guys how to set this up so you can follow the deltas on higher volume and so forth. And TDU does not have that. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. Send me a message. I do give private consultation, like I said, and you'll get some other perks along with it. So that's the end of this video. Don't have much more to say other than get your steps in. I can't stress that more. Get your steps in. Beginning of the day and end of the day. Talk to you guys later. Peace out.